Hey guys, thought I'd do a quick update here as I'm out at Murphy Hannaran hiking with the dog. I just came off an 800-mile road trip of the state, just trying to show my support for bars and restaurants that are defying the governor's unconstitutional orders. It takes a lot of guts to be willing to do that. So we need to reward these people for standing up for our individual rights and their right to operate their business. The governor has no ability to make law. His job is to enforce law, veto bills, or sign bills. That's it. That is the role of the executive branch. He is way outside his constitutional bounds. And no one's talking about the damaging effects of these lockdowns. So obviously that's what I've been trying to emphasize because the media refuses to do it. In fact, as I'm out here walking, I can't help but contrast what I see happening and what so many other people see happening, at least anybody who's willing to take off their COVID blinders and look at the big picture and all the damages of the lockdowns. The fact that we have small businesses across the state and across the country that are going out of business. I saw something the other day that said just so far, 17% of all restaurants across the country have gone out of business. But we don't hear these reports. They don't come from our local media. In fact, I was on a call with a bunch of Scott County officials just a couple days ago, and they threw a stat out that was shocking and incredibly heartbreaking. They said that suicide in progress calls have been up year over year, but they said there's been some months this year where suicide in progress calls are up over 50% over 2019. That's unbelievable. But you don't hear the media talking about it. The fact that literally our neighbors in Scott County are taking their own lives, or even attempting to take their own lives, that's news. Why aren't we talking about this? Instead, contrast that to a message I got, an email from KARE 11 a couple days ago, asking about my comment on one of my Facebook posts. That, of course, they took completely out of context. They twisted my words and tried to whip up an entirely different narrative. That's what KARE 11 is considering news. They ignore the suicides, they ignore the substance abuse, they ignore the domestic abuse, they ignore all of these other things as a result of the lockdowns, and they focus on a Facebook post of mine. It's disgusting. They should be ashamed of themselves. That's why they're called the fake news media. The story out here, the real story, is the fact that the Targets, the Walmarts, the Costcos, the Amazons, they've never been richer before. They're richer now than ever because there's this giant transfer of wealth from middle-class America, small business owners, and their employees, and they've been transferring that wealth to people like Jeff Bezos. That's the story. Tell the story here, KARE 11. Tell the real story that's infecting and impacting our state and our entire country. That's what we should be talking about.